I really don't like this. And then we play the waiting game. That's how you make a cacio and pepe. I don't even know why I fucking feel nervous. I'm just talking to a fucking camera about things that I know. Why am I nervous? I have no idea. Anyway, when you look on YouTube for different recipes for food, you always come across this title saying how to make perfect this or perfect that. However, with food, the issue is that it's never perfect. Of course, every chef from low-level restaurants to 3 Michelin star restaurants, they try to achieve perfection, but that notion of perfection usually changes as soon as the customer or another person tastes the food. I want to try out a couple of different ways of making a very, very simple traditional Italian dish called pasta cacio e pepe. It has only 3 main ingredients. It's a pecorino romano, spaghetti and black pepper. Nothing else. Very simple dish, but deceptively hard to make if you don't know what to do. So I've been looking on YouTube for all of those perfect different ways of making cacio e pepe. Everyone made it slightly differently. They had their own ways of mixing, they used different proportions and etc, etc. And I decided, well, let's try different ways and see what works best for me, and maybe you can try something that works best for you, and maybe this will give you something to think about. So I bought spaghetti, even though, to be honest, I wanted to find bucatini, which is kind of like spaghetti, but it's thicker and it has like a hole going through it. But I found 2 different kinds of spaghetti. One is made by Rummo and one is made by Mancini Pastificio Agricolo. Yeah. The difference is that this was about 2.5 euros, this was about 6 euros. Now looking at them, Rummo looks quite nice, the color is proper. Both are pasta semolina, so they don't have any egg. It's just water and flour. It has a nice color, nice texture, and you can see like the pasta has these little, it's like very fine sandpaper, which is a good sign because it means that there is starch which will be easily released into the water, which is quite an essential part of cacio e pepe, the starch of the pasta. However, the other, the Mancini, has much coarser feel to it, which to me tells that the starch will come out easier. So to be honest, I have a much better feeling about this, but we'll see. Obviously I have some pecorino romano. It's a sheep's milk hard cheese. And just because I'm a heretic and I do want to piss off some Italians, in this video I bought some Parmigiano Reggiano, which is 24 months old. Now normally in cacio e pepe you don't add Parmigiano Reggiano, but I figured, why not? I like it. And I saw one famous Italian chef doing it, so if he can do it, I can do it. And you can do it too. The first very important thing, always add salt to your pasta. Water. And add plenty of it, so it has this flavor of a, well, salty water. Ha! And then I have some peppercorns right here, which I want to toast. Now, a lot of recipes that I saw didn't toast the peppercorns. Fair enough. There might be a reason for that, but toasting any spice, especially spice like peppercorn, coriander, or any seed, actually releases the flavor quite well. So I want to do that. The pan is not too hot, it's actually, I can increase the heat a little bit, I can even touch it, so we'll let it go for a while. And the point of this dish, or the preparation of this dish, there are few ways of how chefs have been making them. So some mix it in a pan on heat, some mix on the pan without heat, some use a bowl, and I saw one Italian dude named Gennaro something mix it in straight in the plate. I'm gonna try that first, because why not? To be honest, I don't think that's a good technique, but I want to see how it works. And we're gonna start with the Roma pasta, the cheaper pasta, just because I decided like that. I have no reasons for anything that I'm doing. My water is boiling, that's beautiful. Let's add some spaghetti. There we go. Now, if you don't have these, buy these. Chef tongs. Best thing ever.
How many minutes?
Until it's done. You cook it until it's done, and the only way to, well, the package says, what did it say? 9 minutes. But never trust the package. You always need to look at the pasta, you need to feel the pasta, you need to taste the pasta, and that's how you know when it's done. So just keep an eye on it. It's gonna be, I'd say, at least 6 minutes, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it works. What I didn't think of is how I'm gonna grind these down, but I have this thing that they use to put down when they make espresso, so I'm gonna use that. Should work, I don't know, I could fail. But just like Bob Ross said, failure, there are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. Sort of working. Right. Now I see in the water you can see a lot of big bubbles, and that's the starch. That's the important part. So some of these crushed peppercorns we take back to the pan, and this is sort of a combination of what I saw one guy doing and another guy doing in a video. One of them had 1.8 million views on YouTube, so it has to be good, right? He put some crushed peppercorns in the pan. He took a little bit of the pasta water from the pot and he cooked it down. Started cooking it down very slowly, very gently, on about medium heat. So you get that peppery pasta flavor water, and you see how this boils up. It's beautiful. So pecorino, and I'm trying not to sound too Italian. Pecorino. Mind you, I've been a chef for more than 15 years, and even though I don't do that now anymore, for my bread, I still like cooking, and my training is classical Italian training. So I worked in Italy, I worked in Parma, in Emilia-Romagna, for a chef called Franco Madama, absolutely brilliant chef. I learned a lot, and I do appreciate Italian food. What they do with food is they really think about the simplicity, how to bring the best parts out of each ingredient, and I do appreciate that. Right, so now here in the plate, just some pecorino, a little bit of peppery water from pasta, and pasta which is boiling nicely. Let's see how close are we. Yes, and the only way to make sure that the pasta is ready is just by eating it. So this is still quite raw. I'd say 2 minutes. 2 minutes we should be there. Now, as soon as my pasta is done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the plate. I'm gonna pour the water with the pepper. I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna hope that it comes out creamy. Creaminess is the main part of this dish. How you create creaminess without butter, without cream, that's the trick. That's where the skill comes in. That's where you have to actually feel what you're doing and trust yourself. A lot of mistakes that people make in the kitchen, they're because they don't trust themselves. They're too afraid that they're gonna make something wrong, or something's gonna go in a wrong direction, not gonna taste nice. But don't worry about it, just make your mistakes and learn from them. And that's how you learn how to cook. I mean, yeah. Pasta keeps cooking even after you take it out. There we go. Now the water with the pepper. Gotta be a little bit careful that I don't want too much, yeah. And then we just mix. And the Italian dude made it look really simple. Worked for him perfectly. But as I suspected, I really don't like this. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look creamy. Cheese decided to fucking go in every direction. It's not mixed. It actually looks pretty goddamn horrible. Goddamn, the Italian people lied to me. Okay, let's try another one. Yes, let's try another way. We put the pasta. Actually, let's go for the same. Let's use rummo again. As a pasta, it actually tasted quite nice, I believe. Put this bad boy in the water. So this time, the difference is everything is pretty much more or less the same, only I'm going to mix this in a pan with a little bit of heat, and I'm going to use a little bit less water. I'm not going to do this peppery water reduction that I did previous time. I think it's a good idea in general, but yeah, for the purposes of this test, let's not do that. One thing that is interesting to know, like, why are we using dry pasta and not a fresh pasta? You can use fresh pasta, obviously, but fresh pasta is not always objectively better, especially when it comes to pasta like spaghetti. First of all, spaghetti is really hard to make fresh, make it properly. And second of all, when pasta dries and then rehydrates when you boil it, something happens to it, makes texture a little bit nicer in some cases. I think fresh pasta is better if you're making like a white pasta, like tagliatelle, fettuccine, tagliolini, pappardelle. Again, I'm not trying to sound like Italian, just how I speak. Like I'm not gonna say. Because I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I have no idea how many people will actually be pissed off at me for no reason at all.
Huh? But there's always someone.
Yeah, there is always someone. There is always someone who is just sad and life has mistreated them and their dog left them or something. They should eat more good food, you know? Good food, good feeling.
Makes you happy.
Makes you happy. I mean, that's the thing, you know, if I'm sad, sometimes, and I am sometimes sad, we all are sometimes sad. You know, I make some good food, some Italian good food, I always feel better. Not like the previous plate, that wouldn't make me feel better. Okay, we're close to victory. Now, I saw this one dude taking tiniest amount of water, sort of like this, adding that to a little bit of cheese, and then using a fork or a spatula, he sort of made this paste. I guess kind of works. Kind of like this. To be honest, I don't trust this either. Because I know, like, the next one I'm gonna make, it's gonna be completely different technique, and I know that it's gonna work. So, yeah. And for that, pay close attention, I'm gonna take some water from the pasta and reserve it in a separate bowl. That's for later. Not now. Later. 30 seconds. 30 seconds and it's jazz. Jazz time. God damn, I've been, honestly, 15 years in restaurants, more than 15 years, almost 20 years in restaurants, and this feels more stressful than restaurant cooking right now. But you see, that's what happens. This is how you grow. You put yourself in an uncomfortable position, you try to do something, and you develop yourself as a human being. You grow. That's what happens. Right? Watch and learn, kids. Life lessons with Andy. Right, I believe my pasta should be really jazzy right now, so I'm gonna put it in the pan. There's a little bit of sizzle, which is pretty fine to me, which means my pan is hot. I'm gonna put some water from there, not too much. Just like this amount, you see? I don't know if you can see. Then I'm gonna take a wooden spatula, mix it up, put my cheese paste in there, and pray. There's a little bit of heat. And we're gonna just let it cook. In every single pasta dish, the important part is to let pasta cook a little bit in the sauce. So leave it just like 20 seconds before it's actually done, and put it in the sauce, let it suck up all that flavor from the sauce. Did I say sauce enough? Sauce. This is looking a little better, but I'm still not convinced. Yeah, exactly the same thing happened to Babish, and he just blamed it all on the bad quality of cheese. But it's not the cheese, man. It's not the cheese. It's us. We're the flawed individuals here. We don't know what we're doing. Right. Plate. Tongs. Plating is much nicer. Check this out. Looks prettier. This is what happened in the pan. Not perfect, but I'll take it. So actually, come here.
That looks much better.
It looks much better, doesn't it? It's much prettier. Check this out. This is already much sexier. If I saw this at a restaurant, I would be already much happier. Okay, you go first.
More cheese.
More cheese?
Mm-hmm.
But here you can actually taste the pepper nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Pepper comes well.
Thank you.
It is much better. Not perfect, still not perfect, far away from perfection. But now we're gonna go all unorthodox. Right, okay, so for the third one, we're gonna go for something completely different. First of all, I'm a heretic. I'm a horrible person. I disregard tradition, I disregard history, because I will use some Parmigiano Reggiano in this recipe that I'm going to make next. But again, the Italian chef Luciano, what was his name? Monosilio, yes. I should remember him, he's one of the youngest guy ever to get a Michelin star, so respectable. He uses Parmigiano Reggiano in the recipe of Cacio Pepe also. So, first of all, it's a great cheese. It's delicious. Second of all, it's not a sheep's milk cheese like pecorino. It's cow's milk. And cow's milk has different sort of proteins. Those proteins help mix with water easier and create a nicer texture for the sauce. So it's easier to make it creamy instead of using just pecorino. So I'm pretty sure that those shepherds who used pecorino in those prehistoric times when allegedly this dish was invented, they probably had on their plates the similar kind of mess that I had on the previous attempts. Anyway, for this one also I'm going to use the more expensive pasta to show you that I believe in this technique. Even though, I'll be honest with you, I have never done this before. Let's go! Woo! Now you can see that I'm gonna grate some Parmigiano in this cup. And then some pecorino together.
So you mix them?
Yes, we're gonna mix them to create nice cheesy heaven. I think it's quite enough. A little mix for the pasta. You want to mix your pasta so it doesn't stick to the bottom, because otherwise, I mean, what will happen is just tears, hate, destruction, you know, it's just not good. You gotta steer your pasta. Keep it moving, keep it alive. Food is alive. All food. No, I already used this. Remember guys, food is love. And the best way to woo someone, if you're a girl or if you're a boy or if you're one of those 1,000 other genders, I mean, good for you, I don't judge, it's like whatever. Anyway, if you want to woo someone, the best way to do it is by cooking for them. Always has been, always will be. You cook for someone, give them good food, show some care, attention, love when you make the food. And you know.
Actually feel something. Do you actually feel something?
Me?
Me.
When I cook, yes. No, but I've been doing this since I was 12, so you know, this is so ingrained in my being, into my existence, that it's just, this is who I am. No matter how much I try to do other jobs, like right now I work in an office, but still in my heart I'm a chef. I guess you cannot escape that, I guess. Anyway, here we have a nice amount of cheese. How much? Yes. You remember that pasta that we reserved from the previous pasta water we reserved from previous plate? It's right here. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of the fresh one to it, just because it's warm. It's a little bit cloudy because of all the starch. It's a little bit warm, and that's perfect. And then I'm gonna put my peppercorns in with the cheese. They're grounded up, they're toasted, and I do suggest you toast them a little bit because it brings out the pepper, like, you know. I'm gonna commit another heresy in a moment. First of all, we need a blender. You could use one of those tub blenders or whatever they're called. Maybe I should be better in this instance, but I don't have one. Another heresy that I want to do, I'm gonna add oil. I'm gonna add fat. Normally, you don't add butter or oil to this dish. And the utter heretic in me would want to add butter, because I love butter. But I'm gonna make sure that Italians, when they see me next time, won't kill me but just beat me up badly, you know, so it's better than being dead. We don't need a pan here, so this bad boy can go away. So the temperature is like, I can keep my finger in it, but it's not too comfortable. So I'd say this is around 65 degrees Celsius, roughly. Now, what are we doing? We take this bad boy, and my cord is not long enough, but here we are. Pour it in with the cheese and start blending. And then add some oil. Delicious. However, I think I need more cheese. You cannot go wrong if you say more cheese, right? Can you? Cheese is good. So let's add more cheese. There we go. This is what we have. It's a little bit liquidy. You can go thicker, you can, but I believe that with the introduction of heat from the pasta, the residual heat from the pasta itself, I believe it will thicken up nicely. It smells cheesy. Woo! Let's go. Now I should say something like Bob Ross. You know? I'm so glad you could join me today. Or like, go with my best impression of Julia Child. I'm not sure if I should do this on the internet. She was like one of the first famous TV chefs in the 50s in America.
Yeah.
She learned to cook in France. And then became like she wrote the art of French cooking. Or the art of French cuisine. And she had this very distinct type of voice. I'm so close. Bon appetit! Okay, sorry. Right, let's go. Our pasta is ready. What do we do? Put it in a bowl. One, two, and this liquidy sauce. Pasta is here, sauce is here. We mix them, and we mix them. We give them a nice good stir. Ha! Sorry.
Now you're happy.
Now I'm happy because this actually looks creamy. It looks beautiful, and I'm actually gonna put the camera right here so you gotta get that plating shot, don't you? Plating shot. Mwah! Then some pecorino on top, like a snowfall in winter. It's good to be the king. Come all ye faithful. Look at this.
Oh my god.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
This already looks much better, doesn't it? Yeah. Here you can see also here. Creamy. This is what I talk about when I say cream. See? Fucking cream. Okay, dig in. Here's a spoon. Take a spoon. showed you, right, I showed you a couple of ways of doing it. 2 ways were very traditional, very easy to mess up. And like I did myself. Now, of course, you can practice the traditional ways and master them, but to be honest, what matters is the end result, and if you are not cooking professionally, or even if you are still cooking to, it's not so much the journey, it's the end that matters here. I recommend you try the traditional way so you can learn the mistakes, so you can see for yourself what happens when happens. But then always think about that extra step. What could you do to make your life a little bit easier?
Enjoy.
Thank you. I still have more here. What could you do to make your life more easier, as I was saying? So you see, food is alive. Food is a living thing. It's a process. And when someone tells you that they know how to make a perfect whatever, they're probably lying. My name is Andy. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, whatever. Anyway, thank you guys. If you want me to make more of these videos, just I don't know, tell me. I'll make more. I have this kitchen I can use. I have plenty of knowledge and ideas. This is just a basic thing that I decided to try as a first. So yeah. If you enjoy, tell me. If you don't, tell me. Or actually don't tell me if you don't enjoy, just go. Cheers, thank you.